Welcome to the Footy Show Daily. We haven't done one for a good few days, and Steve's here. Big Steve. We're going to chat about all of the, well, not all of it, obviously, but quite a few footy stories that are going around, because obviously, as we're approaching the Premier League season, the new seasons across Europe, there's a lot of transfer stuff going on at the moment. Before we go into this, I want to say thanks to Oddschecker for sponsoring the 2021 season countdown here on Toffee TV. There's 10 days to go till the start of the new Premier League season. If you like a bet, Oddschecker is the only app you need for the Premier League season. You can bet on the app now. It's been a place where you can go and compare all the odds. You can bet through that app now as well, and you can get all the latest odds from any of the bookies if you like a bet, that is. It's a bit like Deliveroo, but for betting companies and stuff like that. If you haven't already, click the link to download the app. You can bet, like I say, with all the leading bookies, but you've got to be 18 plus, please gamble responsibly. Let's begin with probably the biggest story that's bouncing around. It's by no means confirmed at the minute, and it seems like a bit of a soap opera, but it is possibly the greatest footballer ever to play the game. Could be leaving Barcelona for these shores to go and play for Manchester City in the Premier League. Lionel Messi. What have you made of it all?
Crazy, absolutely crazy. I was saying to you before, I just never thought I'd ever see him in any other colours apart from Barcelona. Just felt like it was Barcelona and Messi. It's just, you just didn't think it'd ever be anything different. But obviously, it's a big power struggle over there at the moment, and obviously the president and Messi have come to loggerheads, and Suarez getting basically kicked out of Barcelona. It's just a bit of a mess, really, and obviously he's just trying to negotiate how he leaves now, which is,
It is mad. Obviously, Ronald Koeman became the manager, didn't he? And then it all exploded. Where have we seen that before? But obviously, Lionel Messi, like you say, he's always been Barcelona. Barcelona since he was a kid. It did look like he was going to be a one-club man. It may still end up being a one-club man, but at the minute, it does look like it's going to be very difficult for him to remain at Barcelona, regardless of whether Bartomeu, the president, does leave. Messi's told them apparently he wants to play for Manchester City with Pep, and like you say, it seems to be about them negotiating his exit. Now, there's obviously, he's got a £700 million release fee in his contract. However, George Messi, his dad, who's representing him, said that expired last summer, and this is the plus 1 year, and in that agreement, Barcelona said he could go for nothing when he signed the last contract, if it got to that. They're saying that time's passed.
Because of COVID or something, he was saying.
The time scales. The La Liga have sided with Barcelona because obviously they probably don't want the biggest draw leaving. But I've seen lots of legal people saying that if they take it to court, City will have to pay a nominal fee, and they're talking about a nominal fee of 50 million, a nominal fee. But I suppose compared to 700 million, 50 million ain't that bad. Undisclosed fee. I mean, obviously we don't know the ins and outs of it, so we can't go too much into the legality of it or whether it won't happen in the way they're reporting. But do you see him remaining at remaining at Barcelona, or do you see him going to Manchester City?
I just don't think, especially at the president's side, unless the president resigns.
But he's offered that, hasn't he? And apparently that Messi didn't.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
I'll be honest. I think it seems like a lot of the hardcore Barcelona fans have even started to turn on him now, which is mad, really, considering what he's done for that club as well. Obviously, they've done a lot for him as well, obviously, but I just can't see him being there. Now, I was saying to someone the other day, though, I wonder if it would come to the point where Barcelona would just let him
go.
No, just let him rot in the reserves.
Oh, he's only got a year left, so what would be the point of that?
I know, you just don't know whether if it's an ego thing now for both sides.
They've said they want him to be at Barcelona after he's finished playing. The easiest way to do that is to let him go and then bring him back to the club when he's finished, isn't it?
Yeah.
So do you see him going, yes or no?
Yes, probably.
You do?
I'm still not 100%. I don't know. Probably.
Probably. I mean, what do you think he could do it in the Premier League?
Yeah. on a cold night in Stoke.
On a cold night at Stoke. Well, unless they get up, they're not going to be Stoke. The League Cup.
It's just a shame that if he does come to the Premier League, there'll be no fans there to see it straight away, which is the sad part of it. I think it's a sad the way it's ended for him, if it ends for him at Barcelona. I think it would have been nice for everyone to, but that's football now, isn't
Will
it?
that not, just before we move on, will that not make him a better player to come and play in the Premier League? In a lot of people's eyes, he's done it not only in Spain, he's come and done it in the Premier League.
I think if he hadn't come, even if he didn't come, he's still is potentially the greatest player of all time, isn't he? Like, I don't think, but I get the argument of, I know everyone always compares it, oh, Ronaldo's done it in this league and Ronaldo's done it in that league, and he has, fair play to Ronaldo, but I think if he'd stayed at Barcelona, he could still the greatest player of all time. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really interesting. I think it's fascinating if he comes. I'd love to see him. Yeah. I think Everton play City over Christmas. I'd love us to be back in the stadiums then and watch Messi in front of you playing at Goodison against Everton. It'd be incredible. It'd be better seeing him playing for Everton, but it'd be good to see him there. Without Shecker, he's 8-11 to join Manchester City. Someone else you mentioned there on the back of Barcelona, Suarez, he's 1-6 without Shecker to join Juventus. Yeah. This was a mad one because obviously Suarez is getting older. I think he's 33, isn't he, or something like that. Still scored a lot of goals again this season, but Koeman had come in and apparently phoned him and told him by phone, and that has upset a lot of the dressing room at Barcelona, the way it was done. Yeah. But Juventus and teaming up with Ronaldo, I mean, what do you make of that?
Yeah, I think in Italy, I think he'll score a bag load of goals, to be honest with you.
Still, yeah.
I think he's one of them players, Suarez, he can be 35, 30, he'll still
put the ball
in the net. Still put the ball in the net. He'll run around like a lunatic and he'll try and get involved, and there'll be controversy, I imagine, with him somewhere. But he's a top player, like, and I think Koeman's tried to come in, hasn't he, and stamp his authority. And I don't know how long he had left. I think he might have only had a year left on his contract.
He's getting an £18 million payoff, apparently. So
good luck to him.
Not bad work, if you can get it. On the top, I guess that's two players that could be leaving Barcelona, but on obviously the stories about players coming in and everything. One of those players is Georginio Wijnaldum, who plays for Liverpool. He's got 10 months left on a deal at Anfield. It looks as though he's not going to sign. I think I was talking to a couple of the Redmen lads before just about this situation, and apparently Liverpool had offered him contracts and he hasn't signed them, so it looks like he does want to move on. They're talking about a fee of 18 million to go and play, obviously, with his, what would have been his national team manager, Koeman. Great move for him at the age. I think he's 29 and 30. I think it's a really good move to go and play at Barca.
Good deal for Liverpool
for
as well.
Teams,
I think Liverpool done well to get 18 million for him, 29-year-old. Like, I know, I was just speaking to him before, he seems like he's an important player for Liverpool. So but they're obviously looking at bringing potentially Thiago in as well. So
another 29-year-old.
Another 20 years. Yeah. See how many people.
He'll be fuming.
But I think it's a good move for both parties. 18 million. It makes the Thiago deal, I suppose. If you look at it from that point of view, it's only 9 million they're going to if they work. You know what I mean?
If they would do it that way.
Yeah. So.
Fair enough.
But
fair enough.
He's not done too bad from Newcastle to Liverpool, now to Barcelona.
Champions League winner, a Premier League winner, won all sorts, hasn't he, at Liverpool? So interesting to see how that plays out as well. One player who has completed the transfer today is Donny van Beek, who's gone from Ajax to Manchester United. That, to me, this was a surprise, this signing, because obviously all summer it's been Jadon Sancho, hasn't it? That's been the one that a lot of people have looked at. For Manchester United, obviously Solskjaer's done a really good job there, and even, you know, in the face of adversity, because even at Christmas and there or thereabouts, people were questioning whether he'd be there.
Yeah, definitely.
Had a really strong second half of the season. Obviously Bruno Fernandes made a huge difference to United getting Pogba back. There was, like I say, Sancho that seemed to be the main topic of conversation. Him and Raul Jimenez, they were the two that a lot of people were talking about, and then Van Beek's coming from almost from nowhere.
Yeah, no, it's...
Surprised?
Yeah, very surprised. I think I was speaking to you at the weekend on the chat, and I was really surprised. And I was actually reading something yesterday about Van der Beek. He was Real Madrid basically had agreed a fee with Ajax with him, but he'd obviously, because of COVID, Madrid just couldn't afford him. And they reckon United have just jumped in there why the fee was the fee it was. Yeah. Because originally I think they were asking for 60 million off Madrid, and obviously with what's happened, and United have just jumped in straight away. And I suppose the good thing, he offers them something. He offers them something different to all the other midfielders they've got. He can play a 6, he can play an 80s. He offers them, I suppose, a bit different to. I know Fernandes plays higher up the pitch as well. So 40 million, 22, 23-year-old. He's
a good player. Yeah. You've got seen him against Spurs, obviously, in the Champions League a couple of seasons ago. He's very good. Not the he reminds me of Klassen a little bit. I'm not saying I'm not saying he'll be Klassen. No. I'm not saying it'll work the way Klassen did. No, I know you mean. No. But I just mean no pace of any note, intelligent runner, gets into the box well. Klassen when he was playing for Ajax. Just reminds me a bit of that, but obviously he'd be going into a better team. I
suppose they're in the Champions League as well next season, so you've got to have a good squad as well. If they want to try and, I'm not saying they're going to go for the title, but if they want to be nearer to the other two teams, you've got to...
That'll be the aim, no? If they finish fourth, so if you finish top 4, your aim, especially with Rashford, Martial, you've got players in that top end of the pitch. You can. Whatever
we say, they're still a massive club, Man United, aren't they? Greenwood. They'll want to be back up challenging for major honours. So if you can get a £40 million player who can be a squad player as well and first team, it's good.
Well, there's a and obviously another story on top of where United are concerned is Dayot Upamecano, who the RB Leipzig centre-back has been talking about. He's obviously been linked with United. He's been talking about wanting to speak to other clubs. He said, I'm calm about the situation, but he would like to speak to other clubs, and United being the main one. Obviously, there's been issues with Harry Maguire on the pitch. I don't think he's been great last season. No. There's obviously been issues with him off the pitch recently. But he'll be someone he's not going to be someone they're looking to get rid of. They're looking for someone to play with him. So, I mean, Upamecano, he's a monster. He's a hell of a player. He's real. He's all over. He's got physical attributes, brilliant. Looks really good. Was good in the Champions League.
Very good player.
Is he someone you'd see Manchester United?
I think it'd be great for United. I think he'd improve their defence even more. But I can see him staying maybe at Leipzig and going to maybe Bayern Munich next season.
Do you? Yeah, doing another year.
And just because I know he only signed a 4-year deal recently as well. But obviously Leipzig are protecting the asset with him. I personally think he might do another year with Leipzig. Maybe try and challenge Bayern this season, sorry. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him go Bayern Munich next season, personally.
Just on, I know we were in Spain before talking about Barcelona, but just going to Real Madrid, obviously, James Rodriguez on his way to Everton. But another high-profile player who isn't really getting a go there at the minute is Gareth Bale. I mean, you showed me a picture before of him training with his hair out. It looked terrifying. It was, much hair. That's a mad situation, isn't it? Because do you think he gets the plaudits he should get, given I think he's done incredibly well for Real Madrid, and I know him and Zidane obviously
4 European Cups.
Scored probably the greatest goal ever in a Champions League final and won stuff for them. And
the problem with Bale, from the outside, it looks like he's maybe fell out of love with the game a bit. Obviously, he still loves golf. Golf, Wales, Madrid. It looks like he loves playing for Wales. Like when he's with Wales, he looks like he's really committed. But him and Zidane obviously don't see eye to eye, and I think obviously Madrid need to, by the sounds of it, and by the looks of it, they've said they're not bringing anyone in this summer.
Well, they're trying to. They want to pay him off.
Yeah.
It's 30 million to pay him off. He's got 2 years left on his contract. 30.2 million to be precise to pay Gareth Bale off. No club's going to pay that for him. 30-year-old injury record.
Yeah, his injury record.
Obviously supremely talented as well, done really well. But where could he go? He's at that age, like you just said, he seems to be. Gareth Bale could sit here and tell us we're totally wrong, but he looks like he doesn't seem that motivated at the moment, and that might be just because of the way he's being treated by Real Madrid. He might feel like it's, he hasn't been given, hasn't got the support, he hasn't been given the opportunities, and we had the situation coming towards the end of their season a few weeks ago where Zidane said they asked him about Bale and he just went, he didn't want to play.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel like playing, so we've left him behind. Going to a game and things like that. Is there anybody who could take him where you think he would get in? So anyone who paid that money and who could take him?
I think he'd have to take a pay cut to go elsewhere for me.
But where do you see him going? Do you see him coming back to the Premier League?
The only one I could think of in the Premier League, if he potentially went back to Tottenham, potentially. Okay. I wouldn't say it'd happen, but it would be a Mourinho probably type of signing, to be honest with you, where if they said to Real Madrid, you pay the rest of his contract and we'll take him off your hands type of thing. I don't know. I don't see that personally, but Premier League wise, I look around other clubs in the Premier League.
Liverpool aren't going to.
Liverpool, he's not going to.
Couldn't rely on City.
Man United probably not.
They've got young, attacking, exciting players.
Chelsea now, I can't see Chelsea. And you've got Arsenal and Tottenham, and you're like, he's not going to go to Arsenal. Tottenham maybe on a loan, but.
And then wages would have to be.
I don't know.
Levy doesn't pay stupid
No, he
wages,
doesn't. He doesn't. But I just don't see anyone in England. And then you look around the world. You look at Germany. Not going to go to Germany. No one's going to pay his wages in Germany.
No. It's mad, isn't it? China was one he was a bit linked with, wasn't he?
But the tax things changed, so that
mightn't even happen anymore.
America maybe, but it's anyone can afford.
No one couldn't pay anywhere near those wages.
You just hope he doesn't turn into one of them players who just sits out on his contract, and because it's a waste of talent, massive waste of talent.
Seems like what's happening at the minute, though, doesn't it? Just before we finish, Kepa has said he wants to stay and fight for his place at Chelsea. Chelsea have been linked with Rennes keeper Edouard Mendy. Apparently he's Lampard's number one choice. So Kepa's another one, bought for 72 million. Hasn't really. Chelsea have got a little bit of an Everton situation with him, with Everton with Pickford, where there's come in high-profile goalies brought in, and neither of them pulling up any trees. And you're looking and going, we want to replace him. Chelsea are in a much healthier position than whatever now with the keeper, but 72 million goalie on your bench, and then who's going to come and buy him? No one's going to come and buy Kepa.
I think if they address that situation, you could probably talk about them for challenges next year if they actually sorted the goalkeeper situation out as well. I think they're a goalkeeper and maybe the goalkeeper away probably from maybe challenging next season, especially if they get obviously Havertz over the line as well. So. It depends. Would Chelsea be worried about putting a £70 million goalkeeper on the bench?
No, that's what
Probably
I'm
saying.
They're a little bit different. So
just I personally, you wouldn't want to be trying to challenge with Willie Caballero. Kepa as your goalkeepers. So.
Very interesting. There you go. That is the footy chat. What's going on at the moment? Don't forget, if you haven't clicked the link already below to download the Oddschecker app, do it now. If you that way inclined. If you don't like betting, don't do it. Simple as. Make sure you are 18 plus and be gamble responsibly. Always be gamble away. Yeah. Big thanks to Steve. Make sure you subscribe. Give the video a thumbs up if you want more videos. Join us on Patreon. See you later.